Crush me! Enough! We shall deliver judgment!
Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over my Lightning Spear Sorcerer build for Vessel of Hatred. This build is a pure Lightning Spear build. We're basically only doing our damage from the Splintering energy aspect for Lightning Spear. And yeah, the build's come quite a long way. I've been playing quite a few versions. I started out with a Frozen Orb version, and then had an idea to use unstable currents. Like I had this idea like maybe like day 2 or 3 I wanted to try out, but I didn't have the gear for it. But now I do have the gear for it and I'm able to try it out, and it's actually working out really good. Yeah, so basically the way the build works is whenever you cast unstable currents, or like during unstable currents, you have a chance to cast a random shock skill. When you cast a shock skill, basically, right? And that shock skill can be a lightning spear. So if we start casting our charge bolts or whatever, you know, kind of shock skill, you can choose whatever one you want. You can see that we are going to be releasing tons of these lightning spears, right? And you can get like pretty high. Usually I'm sitting at like maybe like 15 to 20-ish conjuration stacks. So that's like pretty good, right? You can get it up quite a bit higher actually. I'm kind of on the lower end on the conjurations because there is an aspect also you can use that has a 40% chance to cast another spell. So that's gonna like increase your count a little bit. But yeah, right now in the pit I like the extra damage you get from this one. But yeah, for open world the double cast might be better. I'm not really sure, but anyways, yeah, so I'm choosing to you know, basically proc it with charged bolts. You could use whatever skill you want to proc your lightning spears. You could use chain lightning. Probably chain lightning better for open world because it is like a little bit more ranged, right? So you have a little bit more, how would you say, range against targets, because like charge bolts, not really the best range, right? But for bossing, for the pit, charge bolts pretty much is like one of the better options, I think, because I think it does cast a little bit faster, maybe. Also, it does have the like built-in damage reduction, and while we will be, you know, proccing charge bolts from our unstable currents, it's not up 100% of the time, right? So for a pit and that kind of stuff, charge bolts definitely is going to be quite a bit better. Oh, and a big shout out to Lurkin. I've been watching a lot of his videos because I just started playing Diablo 4 this season. So I've been playing like 2 weeks, a little bit less than 2 weeks maybe. And so still a lot to learn, but his videos have really helped me to learn the sorcerer class. And he has like a lot of great vids on sorcerer, so I recommend you go check out his channel if you're interested in sorcerer builds. Alright, so let's run a quick pit over here. We'll do a tier 80, so it's not like super long. I've gone all the way up to like pit 94 on the build, but it is kind of slow, so you know, to keep the video fast, I'll just show you a tier 80. We'll have a tier 95 somewhere, maybe in this video or in a separate video you can go check out if you're interested in that. But I completed it. I had about 4 minutes left on the timer, I believe, so that's like pretty good. I think we'll be able to push to 95 with that sort of time. But yeah, you can see basically the way we play in the pit is we actually want to group everything up. Oh, and I do have the wrong thing slotted in. We need this one here. So we have this over here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Here. Yeah, so the way I like to set it up is we have inflict a crowd control that isn't slow or chill 30 times. It might seem like a lot, but we're actually inflicting a lot. And you can see if you look at the counter here, it's going to go like shoot up like pretty much instantly. And there isn't that many mobs on the screen right now, but when there are a lot of mobs, it just kind of gets like, we're actually proccing it before it can come off cooldown. So let's try to get a big group of mobs, or maybe we don't even have to because the lightning spear damage is just going to like kill everything. But yeah, I've gone up to like 40 billion crits with lightning spear. And that's like pretty insane. Like, it doesn't happen very often. Most of the time you're getting like 1 billion to like 10 billion crits when things are grouped up. But every now and then some magic happens and yeah, 40 billion crit. Pretty insane. Let's see if we can group these guys up, or they'll probably die before they even get grouped up. But yeah, let's keep going because we're kind of wasting time here. Oh, I put the stun on. Yeah, so for a higher tier of the pit, I've actually removed the stun on Lightning Spear because it's actually like preventing me from like grouping the mobs up. But I put it back on for like open world, but I should probably turn it off because like honestly, it's I want the mobs to like come to me. I don't want to like stun them off screen, right? Alright, let's see if we can get a nice group over here, maybe. Now, where's all the mobs? There's like no mobs here. No, let's just cast out some lightning spears. Maybe that'll kill everything off.
Choice cut.
Alright, here's a decent sized group. Oh, only 2 billion. Sad. Oh. Yeah, this setup I'm running right now is like sort of set up for pit running. I think for open world, there's a lot of things I would change. Mainly, like, the uptime for unstable currents is, like, in the pit, it's, like, good enough, but in open world, it's not good enough. So I would probably get some more CDR. Probably. Alright, let's go kill the boss. Hopefully it won't take too long, because, like, this build isn't really that good at single target. I mean, it's like pretty good. Like I can kill tormented bosses very easily, but hit bosses are, you know, on a different level. All right, maybe we can kill him off in this stun, or very close to killing him off. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's kill a tormented boss. We'll do Lord Zir, because some of the mats I had. But, you know, bossing on this is pretty insane. Like, you can even, well, let's kill him off first. But you can even equip the Fist of Fate, I think it is, and you can pretty much just, like, perma-stun these bosses. But you can see, once we get him staggered, he's just, like, gonna die. So, yeah. Pretty much like all of the tormented bosses is pretty much what happens. You do some damage, you get them in a stun, and then they just kind of melt. Alright. Alright, so let's go over the skills. So we got some 2 points of Firebolt just for the activation for the next node here, and then we're going Charge Bolts. Like here, whatever main skill you're going to use, just put points in it, I guess. I like Charge Bolts, so I'm doing this. And then we're going over to Destructive because I want the damage reduction. And then I had some extra points, so I put them in like Chain Lightning. I don't know why. I don't. Maybe it's like a little bit of extra damage. You don't really need this here. And then just the defensive, your regular stuff, right? You know, Flame Shield, Teleport, Ice Armor, and then we have the good passives over here. Familiar, just 1 point here for the burning damage tech. I actually don't really like this because in open world, actually, I'm sometimes even just swapping over to Firebolt enchantment because Lightning Spear, like the way it works is like you're killing things off screen a lot of the time, and Firebolt enchant is going to really help with your you know, off-screen clear and that kind of stuff. So like ideally my open world setup would be you would run like Firebolt enchant and then you'd run like a Shaco or I don't know, Harlequin's Quest or yeah, this helmet, right? And that means my unstable current's going to be 17-second cooldown. Lightning Spear is like 6.5 seconds, so this is going to feel like the best in open world. The only problem is my crit is pretty bad in the setup, like 45% crit. So I'll have to solve some crit, but ideally this is kind of the setup I want to run, is with the full CDR setup. I don't know, but Arrow Perdition is actually pretty nice for damage. Okay, so that is something about the burning damage. So we get our burning damage from Familiar, but like I mentioned, sometimes you might want to swap to the Fire enchant. Then we get our Ice Blades to reduce CD, Lightning Spear, only 1 point because we're doing damage with the aspect and not the actual ability. And Invoked Lightning Spear. So this, for high level pits, I like to take this off because, like I said, it really it's like it stops you from grouping up monsters. Like you're going to stun monsters and they're not going to come run to you, right? So if you have it with no stun, lightning spears go out, they hit enemies, they aggro you, and they start running towards you, and then you can group them up. So I like that a lot better in the pit. After that, we get our passives here. Conjuration Mastery, I'm at 13 ranks, so that's pretty cool. Nothing over here, just a couple of points into Icy Veil for barrier duration, and then some extra damage to Chilled and Frozen, which is quite nice. That's why we're doing a lot more damage to the boss when the boss is, you know, stunned, or in his stun phase. And then we have Unstable Currents. Here I have full 5 points in here because I want this 100% uptime. I don't really care if it's like, you know, on single target when all my Ice Blades are hitting it, if I'm like, you know, going over my CD, you know, if I'm reducing the cooldown too much, because like, you know, I want the build to feel good to play in open world as well. So ideally this is like, you know, a 10-second, I have like the cooldown all the way down to like, you know, 15 seconds. It's going to be ideal because then it's just always up. I don't have to worry about it. All right, and some extra points into a little bit of damage reduction over here. And finally, for the last passive, using Enlightenment, we proc it very quickly with, you know, attacking pretty much, and then we just use Flame Shield, and then we'll rotate into, you know, Icy Blades, and then Flame Shield, and then Lightning, so we can go Lightning, Cold, Lightning, Cold, Lightning, Cold, and Fire, and then you proc it really quickly. So it's uptime pretty good. Let's go over some of the gear. So for the helmet, before I was actually using a Godslayer and a Raiment. So this is like the starter setup here would be something like this. Basically, yeah, just something like this. And then Ring of Starless Skies, this is pretty nice too. But I think first of all, what you should be getting, the very first Mythic Unique is the Shroud. Shroud is amazing, so I recommend you get this one first. And then probably after that, it's a very hard pick, but I think probably Ring of Starless would be my second pick, or maybe the helmet. But the thing is, you are going to be losing your CDR, so that could like break your build with your cooldown, because like you can see with the Godslayer, my cooldown is 24 or 25 seconds, which is a lot more manageable than like 30. Also, this does have a little like group, like pull on it, so that's quite nice. But yeah, Arrow Perdition, just like pure damage. And once you can get I think like 30-second CD for Pit is fine, or 31 seconds on Unstable Current is good enough for Pit. You can also use the runes to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate. I'm not using it right now, but you can use that. So there is ways to kind of get around it, but I think like honestly, really ultra endgame, I probably want to be using the Harlequin's crest to get the CDR cap on the build. It's going to be pretty good, I think, because then that means more lightning spears, and could eventually move over to a build version that is more focused on, you know, generating lightning spears from actually like casting lightning spear instead of spamming charge bolts, which is, it's okay, but I don't really like it that much. All right, so for the gloves, I'm using a rare pair of gloves because I do want to have an extra enchant, and I guess there is some other options. Like another good one is Fist of Fate. This is pretty insane for the lucky hit chance because basically you're going to be perma-stunning bosses. So if you're having a hard time with some bosses, throw on a Fist of Fate and just go in the boss and you'll see what happens. Because also another reason why I like Charge Bolts is it has the highest lucky hit chance out of all the other skills. So if we take a look at the skills here, Lightning, Chain Lightning is 51, Charge Bolts is 41. Oh, but Charge Bolts has 5 different bolts that release, right? So, and you can shotgun. So I guess Chain Lightning does have technically a higher lucky hit chance, but Charge Bolts is like 41% times 5 because it's releasing 5 at once, right? Okay, so that's kind of why. And I did notice I was getting a lot more lucky hit procs with charged bolts, especially noticeable on refreshing your unstable currents with the Orange Herald pants, right? So that's the gloves. Glove slot, I think Fist of Fate, or you go for just a kind of rare pair of gloves with attack speed or crit strike chance and that kind of stuff. My pants are really bad, but ideally here you get your armor, right? Pretty low on armor, but yeah, you get it on your pants. You do need probably a GA armor affix. I guess you could get some armor on something else maybe, but ideally, yeah, you get it on the pants. And then let's just see for the boots. Oh yeah, so for the pants here, this is where we get our Orange Herald. So this is pretty important to upkeep your unstable currents. And then Rakonos, these boots, basically because we need so many skills on the skill bar, there's no room for teleport, right? So you kind of are forced to run Rakonos this patch. I think, yeah, if we could drop Ice Blades, then I would go to a different pair of boots, right? But pretty much forced into using Rakonos this patch because, first of all, you need the extra Conjuration to upkeep your cooldowns because you can't just spam Lightning Spear and win because of, you know, the nerfs and that kind of stuff. So you need like all the help you can get. Okay, my staff is pretty bad, but basically you get a staff with like crit damage ideally, and then the world enchant, like, so there is like a chance for charged bolts to cast twice. That is like really bad. Like, see, I have it on these weapons because I was trying to use them here, but this does not proc any additional spells during unstable current. Also, it's not even, maybe it's bugged, but it's not even casting again. It's just adding one more little ball. So you think it has like 5 balls, so when it casts twice, you should get 10 bolts. But no, it's only 6. You only get 6. So maybe that is kind of bugged. And also, yeah, it doesn't even count to proccing unstable a second unstable currents. So basically it's just useless. So there is nothing else to really get, except maybe you could do, there is one for a chance for a second Ice Blades, might be nice. But I decided to go for lucky hit damage. That's quite high, right? It's like 7,000 damage. Could probably get it up a bit higher if I masterwork it. But it does add a little bit of extra damage. I think that's quite nice. Okay, so amulets. So I'm using a Winterglass still, like maybe a rare amulet with Conjuration Mastery GA would be good, but those are extremely rare, and I think like realistically you're not going to get one of those, or I've been looking on trade and I haven't even found one yet. So I think I just, it's simple just to get a fractured winter glass. Just get one of these. It has like the highest ranks you can get to Conjuration Mastery, and the, lucky hit for your conjurations to cast Frozen Orb are kind of nice because it does apply chill, and it does reduce the cooldown of your Lightning Spear and Ice Blade, so it is kind of nice. And after that, we're using Talrash and Ring of Star of the Skies. So that is sort of the build overview, guys. We'll go over the Paragon real quick. So the Paragon, actually, I'm using the board setup from Mikuna, the guy who made like all the Lightning Spear builds in Season 5. And I've been looking at a lot of different boards, and they're pretty much all the same. Like, but I did notice the one Mikuna made did have the most amount of crit damage, so I'm using that one. But pretty much we have the starter board, and we're going to go for destruction, and then over here we have, oh, what's this one here? Oh, Burning Instinct, and then we have Tactician, and then we have Fundamental Release, and Flame Feeder, then Enchantment Master, and Elementalist, and then over here, Frigid Fate, and Unleash. Right, so that is the kind of Paragon setup. I'll be updating the build as I progress the character. Like I said, this build, I'll include the starter version I was playing back when I had like the Godslayer and the Raiment. And basically, I think until you can get really good gear, don't use a staff, use a one hand and a sword. It's going to feel a lot better earlier on before you have a lot of good gear and that kind of stuff. It's easier to cap your crit, I think, on with one hand with the sword and the focus, because you can get crit on the focus. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So I'll have both of the planners, or setups in planners. You can go check those out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for updates, and I'll see you next time.
special. It's a fight you want.